A very good day to miss you me. My name is Foo Zhong Wei. Currently, I'm a year 3 student taking course of electronic engineering. My LP title will be the Betta fish knowledge, and I will be talking about the breeding process and also the Betta fish competition specifications. Before that, I did interview some of the breeder from other state, which is from KL, also from Johor, and I come out with a most basic breeding process. So before we going to breed or we plan to breed, we have to make sure that the water is actually free away from chlorine. So we have to use the green tension joint anti-chlorine to actually clear the chlorine inside the water. So after the water is well prepared, we can just pour it inside the portion box, and as you can see from the video, the man is pouring the pati ketapang, which we call as the water ketapang, and some medication in it. So the recommended medication will be General 8, Groomy, Beta Booster, and also AOG. Alright, right after the water is well prepared, we can just place the male and female inside the portion box, but the female has to be in quarantine condition close to 3 days. And we have to put one piece of plastic on top of the water surface. The purpose is to actually let the male to make their nest under the plastic. So after 2 to 3 days, you will be notice there is a lot of bubble below the plastic. So it is time for us to let the female out from the quarantine area, and here is where the breeding process start to begins. Alright, right after the female is out from the quarantine area, which indicates that the breeding process will start anytime. So as we can see from the video, the breeding process is start to begin, and you can see the male and female, they are covering each other, and you'll see the eggs falls. So once the eggs falls, the male will start to collect the egg and put it one by one inside the bubble, which we call as nest, and it will repeating again and again until the female has no eggs inside its body. Alright, when the breeding process is come to an end, you will notice that the female will laying at another side far away from the male. So it is time for us to take out the female and let the male taking care of the fry. Once you're able to notice that the fry are able to swim freely, it is time for us to take out the male, because we're afraid that the male will invade the area and also the male will attack the fry. Alright, this is the overall of the breeding process. I will now proceed with the generation. So in Asia countries such as Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, we have almost the same breeding process, but the only thing difference is that how we're going to build our genetic bloodline. So I will be comparing Thailand and Malaysia. In Thailand, actually how they build their genetic bloodline, you can actually see from the photo. They will start off with the different parental generation of the fish. They will crossbreed each other to actually produce a F1 generation of the fish, so which we call as the first generation. So actually the first generation of the fish is quite unstable. The genetic is quite unstable. It will produce lots of reject fish and also saddle fish. So how do they actually make the stable genetic line? Is they take the both F1 fish, F1 spawn, to breed with each other again, and they come out with the F2 generation fish, which is the second generation, and they keep on repeating the same way until they get to the F3 generation. So once the genetic bloodline hits the third generation, the bloodline will start to be stable. So you're seeing that there is a decreasing percentage of having reject fish and also the silo fish. I couldn't 100% guarantee that all the Malaysian breeder, they are using another way. They might use the Thailand way as well, but so far that I know, Malaysia, they are using a different way to build their genetic bloodline. The starting will be same as Thailand, but the only thing is that how do they produce the F2 generation and F3 generation. The F1 generation is same as Thailand. They will take the different parental generation of the fish to crossbreed each other to come out with the F1 generation. But in order to get the F2 generation, which is the second generation, they will take the first generation fishes to crossbreed with the parental generation, which is the upper generation. So it will produce the F2 generation, and they repeat the same action again to actually produce the third generation, which they take the second generation of the fish to crossbreed with the first generation of the fish, and lastly it will produce the third generation of the fish, which we call F3. That's all for generation part. I'll now start with the Betta fish competition specifications. There are actually a few competitions in Malaysia. In order to get placing, there are something that we really need to focus on. The D-shaped caudal width must not exceed one vertebral body. The caudal fins must be having a D-shaped pattern and the corners should be sharp. The anal fins must be trapezoid-shaped anal and the ventrals must not exceed the anal fins level, must be at least at the rear of the anal tip. The head size and pattern have to be like a bullet pattern. This is what we call as a balanced body pattern, and also nice form and finish, which is the most basic specification that the fish might get placing in the competitions. The last specification will be the color of the fish itself. The color must be equal, balanced, and also strong. In the past 2 to 3 weeks, there is a competition in Malaysia, and this is the photo of the grand champion, which we call it as a Candy Cooper. It won the grand champion, and the other one is the half moon. It won the division champion at the half moon category. There's a short video behind. I hope you guys can enjoy it. It's about the breeding achievement that I achieved by myself. Thank you so much.
Forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. Our love is like a summer's day, hot and endless in a magic way. Whenever I see you, all I can think is my summer love.